Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the hidden meanings in corporate filings. And today we've got some juicy insights from Diodes Incorporated's latest report, a document filled not just dry numbers, but the story of a company navigating the ever-changing tech landscape. If you're interested in understanding what's really going on behind the scenes of a major semiconductor player, make sure you're subscribed and join our community hangout on Discord, linked in the description below. Alright, let's dive into this Form 8K, which is essentially a current report filed to announce major events that shareholders should know about. Diodes Incorporated filed this report on August 7th, 2025, and it mainly talks about their second quarter 2025 financial results. Think of this as a quick but important update on how the company is performing. Diodes is a company that makes semiconductors and chips. These are the tiny brains inside all our electronic devices, from smartphones to cars. They've been around for a while and they are a pretty significant player in this industry. Now, something important to note for investors is that Diodes Incorporated's common stock trades on the Nasdaq Stock Market LLC under the ticker symbol DIODE. This is the main way people can buy and sell ownership in the company. So when we talk about their performance, it directly impacts the value of those shares. The main event here is the discussion of their second quarter 2025 financial results. Gary Yu, the president and CEO, along with other key executives, held a conference call to walk through these numbers. What's really interesting is that while they present results according to the standard accounting rules, they also use what's called non-GAAP measures. These non-GAAP measures are essentially the company's way of showing you performance metrics adjusted for certain items that might make the numbers look better or worse in the short term. They say they do this to give investors a clearer picture and a better baseline for future performance, because management uses these same adjusted numbers. It's like getting the raw ingredients list versus the chef's special recipe. While it can offer a more focused view, it's crucial to remember these are adjusted numbers, and they can sometimes differ from what other companies use or even from what you'd see in a purely GAAP report. This section often goes hand in hand with the financial results. Regulation FD, or fair disclosure, is all about making sure important information is shared with everyone at the same time. In this case, it confirms that the earnings conference call transcript, which is Exhibit 99.1, also includes updates on the company's business outlook. This safe harbor language is really important. It means that when they talk about future expectations like sales growth or product launches, they're indicating that those statements are forward-looking and come with inherent risks and uncertainties. Basically, they're saying, hey, this is what we think will happen, but things could change, and they are protected from lawsuits if those future predictions don't pan out exactly as planned. It's standard practice for companies to include this when discussing their outlook. This is where they list all the supporting documents for the report. The most important one here for us is Exhibit 99.1, which is the transcript of the earnings conference call we've been talking about. That transcript is where all the detailed discussion of their financial results, including those non-GAAP numbers, and the business outlook would be found. This transcript is the key to understanding the financial story Diodes is telling. While this Form 8K itself doesn't contain the detailed financial tables, it points us directly to the source where those numbers are laid out and explained. The company is essentially saying, go read this transcript for the full picture of our second quarter performance. Now, without the actual financial tables directly in this filing, we have to infer the content of that crucial Exhibit 99.1. Based on these filings, we can assume Diodes Incorporated presented its second quarter 2025 financial results, likely highlighting revenue, profitability, and perhaps some key operational metrics. The use of non-GAAP figures suggests they might be adjusting for things like acquisition costs, stock-based compensation, or other one-time events to present what they believe is a truer picture of their ongoing operational performance. When a company emphasizes these non-GAAP results, it's often to highlight core business strength, but it's always wise to cross-reference with the GAAP numbers to get the complete context. For example, if their non-GAAP earnings per share show significant growth, but their GAAP earnings per share are flat or declining, you'd want to dig into what specific adjustments are making that difference. HABM-T operational metric figures suggest they might be adjusting for things like acquisition costs, stock-based compensation, or other one-time events to present what they believe is a truer picture of their ongoing operation. In terms of external context, Diodes operates in the highly competitive semiconductor industry. Companies in this space are constantly innovating, facing supply chain challenges, and dealing with global economic shifts that affect demand. Their performance is often tied to the health of the broader electronics market. automotive days to soften the impact of downturns in any single sector. Looking ahead, the business outlook provided in that transcript would have discussed their expectations for the upcoming quarters, potentially including revised revenue forecasts or commentary on market trends. These forward-looking statements are critical for investors to gauge management's confidence and the company's anticipated trajectory. Any mention of new product introductions, expansion into new markets, or strategic partnerships would also be key indicators of their future growth drivers. So what's the story here? Diodes Incorporated is providing its investors with a specific look at its recent financial performance, emphasizing a desire for clarity through adjusted metrics while still adhering to standard reporting. They're sharing the outlook for the future with the necessary legal protections for these forward-looking statements. It's a standard but important update that signals how the company believes it's doing and where it's headed, all presented in a way that aims to keep investors informed and confident. Now, digging into my own analysis based on what's typically included in such reports, Diodes is likely trying to communicate resilience and strategic focus. When they highlight non-GAAP measures, it's a signal that they want to showcase the underlying profitability of their core business operations, often stripping out the noise of temporary factors. For instance, if they've made an acquisition, they might exclude integration costs from their non-GAAP earnings to show the profitability of the business before those one-time expenses hit. This approach allows them to present a more consistent year-over-year comparison, potentially showing stable or growing operational earnings even if GAAP numbers are affected by such events. However, a key risk for investors is always understanding the magnitude and nature of these adjustments. Are they truly removing infrequent, unusual items, or are they consistently adjusting away costs that are, in reality, part of doing business? A strong company will have adjustments that are clearly defined and infrequent. We want to see that their GAAP performance is also showing a healthy trend, rather than relying solely on adjusted figures. The business outlook is another critical area. If their outlook suggests robust growth, especially in key sectors like automotive or high-performance computing, that's a positive sign. Conversely, if they signal caution or a slowdown in certain markets, that's a clear risk factor to monitor. Diodes, being in the semiconductor space, is sensitive to global demand, technological shifts, and geopolitical factors that can impact supply chains and customer orders. Their ability to navigate these complexities and maintain strong customer relationships is paramount. In conclusion, Diodes Incorporated appears to be managing its communications by presenting a narrative of operational strength, supported by adjusted financial metrics. The company is actively sharing its forward-looking perspective, which is essential for market participants. The critical takeaway for an investor is to look beyond the headline numbers, understand the adjustments made to arrive at those non-GAAP figures, and critically assess the business outlook in light of broader industry trends and potential risks. They are clearly trying to paint a picture of a company in control and focused on long-term value. Alright, that's our breakdown of Diodes Incorporated's latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching, see you next time.